Hey, what is going on, y'all? This is Jeff from Geo Rides, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about winter riding prep. Talking about the things that you need to purchase, or at least I think you need to purchase, in order to be able to ride your bike comfortably during the winter. Some of those items are going to be on me, like the suit I got on right here, nice and warm with a liner in it, to things on the bike that you can purchase to make sure that your ride in the winter is enjoyable. Stay tuned for my #1 tip in terms of what I think you should purchase for riding in the winter, and you'll be able to make it through, no problem. Let's go. All right, so as I mentioned in the open, we're going to be talking about things on the bike, and then we're also going to be talking about things that you can put on your person, on yourself, to be able to make sure you have a comfortable ride in the winter when it's cold out. But first, we're going to start on things on the bike. The first thing I want to talk about is the heated grips. These are the Harley Davidson Kahuna collection heated grips. I added these on after the fact, after I bought my bike and I realized I wanted to ride in the winter. Normally my limit is about 42 degrees. After that, I don't want to ride anymore. And say what you will, but anyway, that's me. But anyway, these heated grips are great. Most of the time, I can ride without my heated gloves, and we'll talk about those later, but most of the time, you crank this bad boy up to 6, and it's almost too much. And so you can turn it up and down. You can adjust it up and down, and there's an indication light on here as to when the grips are on and when they're not. My one tip to you with the grips is, and what they say is, don't start your motorcycle with the grips on. And the reason for that is it puts too much strain on the battery in terms of trying to draw that power initially for the heated grips to get going. And it doesn't take but maybe, I don't know, maybe a mile or so for the heat to build up in the grips, which is absolutely amazing. Like I said, this is an absolute essential for me riding in the winter, but I'll give you another option. If you don't want to buy the heated grips and pay for them to be installed, I'll give you another option in terms of what you can do to have heat on your hands. I use a combination of the two to make sure I'm nice and warm. I don't like being cold at all. I prefer the warm weather. Let's go ahead and move on to the next item on the bike. The next item that I want to talk about is the SAE adapter that's going to go along with my #1 tip that's at the end of the video. I want you to check that #1 tip out. But anyway, this SAE adapter is right here. For me, I installed it on this directional fin right here because it has a nice clean look. Ordinarily, it's usually hanging off of here with the dongle that's underneath here, or it is tucked up underneath the seat or something like that. But I chose to install mine right here on this wind deflector. Check out my video on that. I'll put a link up here in the corner, and then also a link in the description. Check out my video on the SAE adapter installation. It's nice and easy, cheap option for you to be able to customize your bike and get it ready to go. These adapters right here are going to go to my #1 tip that's at the end of the video that I want you to check out. All right, so there's some additional items that you can get on your bike that I don't have that'll help with wind deflection, keeping that cold wind off of your body. And so the first thing I'm gonna talk about is you can get you a taller windshield. This is a Memphis Shades, I believe it's a 4.5 inch windshield and smoke that I've had on my bike forever. I like the look, and I don't care about the wind deflection. I get good wind deflection with this going up and over my head. I tried some Clockworks taller ones and stuff like that, and they just didn't work. But anyway, go to your local dealership. Try them out. They have models that you can use, samples that you can put on your bike and ride and see if that will deflect enough wind for you. I definitely recommend getting the right type of windshield for you. There's different math and stuff like that you can do. I did the field test, the butt test, whatever you want to call it. That's what I did to determine which windshield I needed or wanted. But anyway, a good windshield to get that wind over you is a good option. And then the other thing that you can do is you can purchase lowers, whether they're Harley Davidson lowers, Advanblack lowers, whoever they are, whatever brand, those lowers will help direct the air around you. Now, if you have a limited or an ultra or something like that, you already have the lowers in here, and that helps block the wind on your legs and stuff like that. I don't have this on my bike. This is my sporty bike. If I end up getting a Road Glide Limited, which is what I want, 2026 and beyond, which is what I want, then that'll obviously have the lowers on it, and I don't have to worry about that in particular. All right, so that's something else you can add to your bike to be able to get that wind deflected off of you. Another thing that you can add are wind deflectors that are installed right here. I believe those come on the limiteds as well. My buddy UCM Pigs, that's UCM Pigs, just like it sounds. Check out his video on the wind deflectors that he got from Amazon. that help deflect air, either direct air or deflect air, depending on what it is you want to do. Hop over there and check his video out. I'll link it down in the description. And then last but not least are going to be hand deflectors. So there's actual deflectors that you can install off of your brake and your clutch that will go over your hands like this and deflect the air out. And I'll pop some pictures up of all of these so that way you can see them. But those are a good option. If you don't mind the way it looks, those are a good option for you to be able to install and have something on your bike to be able to use to help deflect that air. Again, it's all about keeping the air off of you. It's already cold enough outside, and then you add the wind chill on top of that, you're gonna be in a world of hurt. But anyway, those are the items that I have on the bike here. Let's go ahead and hop on over to the items that you can wear on yourself to be able to keep yourself warm. All right, so I'm gonna go through these next items pretty thoroughly because these are the things that you're gonna put on yourself to help keep you warm. And so first, I'm gonna start off with these boots. These are winter boots from Columbia. You can probably get them from any brand. But anyway, these boots, they have insulation in them to help keep you warm as you're riding down the road. I wear me a thick pair of socks and then these, and I'm absolutely perfect when it comes to riding in the winter. And a lot of this is gonna come down to layering, but with my number one tip, you won't necessarily need to layer as much because it acts as a wind deflector, but then also it provides heat as well. But we'll get to that tip here in a minute. And then also I wanna say I'm putting links down in the description. None of them are affiliate links, but I'm putting links down in the description to help you find these items to be able to purchase for your particular needs. All right, so next, I'm gonna have the hot wire gloves. And so what they do is they connect into your jacket, and I'll get into that here in a minute. But here are your hot wire gloves. And you also have your temperature controls right here. They have 3 different temperature controls. And if I remember correctly, it warms the outside of your hand, the backside, if I remember correctly. I'll have to double check, but it warms the backside of your hand, not the inside. And that's what your heated grips are gonna be for, is gonna be the inside. But anyway, you have your 3 different temperature settings, and that way you can get on down the road and adjust as you need to in order to keep yourself warm. Usually the, green, yellow, and then red, those are the different temperatures, the different degrees. Usually I'm only using green or yellow. I've never used red on these because I've never ridden in cold enough conditions. But anyway, these hook up to your jacket, like I said, and they'll keep you nice and warm. And so next, we have the outer layer. So this is what I use. These are built. I bought these from Cycle Gear, and these built pants, make sure you size these appropriately because they get kind of weird in terms of sizing. But anyway, these pants, they have a zip-in liner that I don't even use. And I'll tell you why here in a little bit. But they have a zip-in liner that you can use for wind deflection if you don't have the number one tip that I'm gonna talk about here in a minute. And then you also have zips on the side to be able to get in and out of them easily, and pockets and all that other kind of stuff. But these are, like I said, from Cycle Gear. You can get this type of style from anywhere, but this is just what I purchased because it made sense. Okay, next is gonna be the built jacket, the matching jacket. You see it has a liner in here, but then it also has a wind deflection layer as well that I don't use. But anyway, the liner in here, it's nice and warm. I have no problem whatsoever with temperature control. You have pockets either for venting or for storing stuff in. There's pockets here. You have pockets here on the side. You also have adjustment in the back, so there's a lot of variability in terms of how you can wear these. And then you also have this pocket in the back, and vents in the back as well. So these jackets are really versatile. When you're spending this kind of money, you wanna make sure that you have the features and things of that nature are gonna work for you in a dynamic motorcycle riding environment, because obviously it gets dangerous out there on the road, especially when it comes to temperatures, either hot or cold. You don't wanna be either when it comes to riding. And so that's gonna cover the jacket. And so next is my number one tip. This tip has been invaluable in terms of my riding in the winter, or if it's just chilly, I can throw on maybe a light jacket and then the heated gear that I have right here. This is the hot wired heated gear. This version is about 3 years old, I wanna say. They have a version out now that's Bluetooth controlled. So you can see on your phone and control temperatures on your phone versus controlling it with the button right here. This button is the same as the gloves in terms of green, yellow, and red. And so I'm gonna talk about how they adapt to the gloves real quick. And so what you do is you take the, where's it at? You take the wire from your jacket and plug it into your glove. It gets a little tricky. You got to finagle a little bit or have somebody help you. But that is your option to be able to hook these up to your gloves. Or you could just store it away in the zipper right here. You don't have to have it out and about. You can store it in the zipper. And so with this jacket, it acts as another layer for wind deflection, but then it also provides heat on your chest and on your back. It does not provide heat on your arms. But your chest and your back, that radiates the heat to the other places. So that makes it really good to go. And so, like I said, you've got your adapter right here. If you just want to ride with your jacket and not your pants, then this is the SAE adapter that you're going to use, and you're going to hook up to your SAE adapter on your motorcycle to be able to get that 12-volt power supply to the jacket. And so it also has pockets for you to be able to use and what have you. But this is the #1 tip, along with the bottoms, for you to be able to ride your bike in the wintertime. It provides so much heat, it's not even funny. And then you also have the pants. And so when you use the pants and the jacket at the same time, you have to have this adapter, and then you also have to have this adapter. So you'll plug into here, just like this, and then you'll plug the jacket and the pants into that. And so the jacket again, or the pants again, it acts as a liner itself. That's why I don't wear a liner in the pants. And then also you have your temperature control right here. You have to develop that tactile feel through your gloves in order to be able to feel and change the temperature. But trust me, if you put it on red on the hottest setting, you'll know it in a heartbeat. But you can just look down and check the temperature settings and stuff like that. But these hot wire pants, they also zip up on the sides with Velcro and all that other kind of stuff. And again, sizing is important with these. So make sure you try them on right when you get them to make sure you get the right size, because my normal sizes weren't right. And I had to do a lot of guessing and stuff like that. But anyway, those are my tips for winter riding. I hope that you check out the links, check out my other videos. I have a playlist on winter riding as well, on some other things. Check out those videos. As always, I want to thank you for watching this video to the end. I want you to like, share, and subscribe. And remember to always ride as if your life depends on it. Have a blessed day. Peace.